Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, F.E. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. We're never tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the champ and the tramp, let the bomb blast.
What's up, Frankie? Bloise? Is it Bloise?
It's Bloise.
Bloise. I like Bloise, baby. It's like you're French. You're French.
Yeah, I'm 100% Italian. Somehow I wound up with a French last name.
Is it a French last name? No,
I mean,
it's Italian last name.
If you look it up, it does say Italian, but
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's a French sounding.
Yeah. That's funny.
You thought you were German for a while with your last name.
I did. I used to. I mean, I got told. I thought I was German. I always knew I was Italian, but I thought I was German. But come find out, I'm 70% Italian and like maybe 15% English and Irish, and that's probably where Edgar came from.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. Me and Frankie go back pretty far, man. Back to like what, 2006, 7-ish, 5, something like that.
It had to be earlier than that, bro, because I left for Panama in 2003.
Yeah, no, because I wasn't in college till 2005. Had to be like 05, 06.
Then maybe, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It was 07 that I left for Panama.
Okay.
I'm thinking back the years.
Yeah. We'll get you straightened out. We'll get
Too
you
many
straightened out.
punches, man.
Hey.
So when you say left for Panama, I know you fought over there, but you did more than just fight over there, right?
Man, it was a crazy story.
Yeah.
Like Frankie said, I grew up in MMA with the Rhino fight team in Tom's River. We beat the shit out of each other every day for 5 nights a week. Like, it was the best pedigree I think I could have gotten to do what I did. I only did one amateur fight here in Jersey, and I was maybe 23. And I had a friend from Panama that was going to college here, and we became really tight. He invited me to his wedding in Panama. I was like, sure, I'll go check out the jungle and see what it's like. And Panama City is like a first world city in a third world country. Like, there's skyscrapers everywhere, the Hilton, Trump, Marriott, like Hard Rock, everything's there. It's like
that's America, right? I mean, it's kind of America leased Panama for the Panama Canal. I think it just literally in 2020 or something. Gave it back.
Yeah.
I think that they used the American dollar in Panama.
It's the only country in the world that uses our currency. Yeah. And a lot of people speak English. Not the majority, but more than you would expect in Panama. So I go to the wedding, and this dude marries the president of Panama's sister.
Wow.
So I'm at the wedding, and there's 2,000 plus people in this wedding. The president, I'm meeting the president, and my boy's like, I got a surprise for you at the reception. I'm thinking like, what? Yeah. So I go, and they have like 12 people per table seated. He sits me down with Mariano Rivera in his prime and Roberto Duran.
Wow.
Now think of back then, like how many people knew of our sport even here. Like, it was just so new, And I'm sitting at this table with these people telling them I fight in a cage for a living, and they're looking at me like, "What, are you an animal?" But Duran said, "Son, come sit next to me right now." Took a seat next to Roberto Duran, and he's like, "Listen, this is a boxing country. They would love this."
Yeah.
He's like, "I have my own arena. You want to do an event with me?" I was like, "Hell yeah, Mr. Duran." I went home 6 days, got my affairs in order, and moved to Panama. Didn't know a word of Spanish.
Wow.
I took about 6 months to learn how to read, write, and speak Spanish fluently. So I didn't want to be like an idiot on TV doing interviews for the fights or anything. And the first fight that we did, we used the boxing ring because we wanted to see if the event would do well before we invested in the cage. And nobody would fight me. I was fighting at 170 at the time too. It was like when we didn't even really have to cut a lot of weight.
Right.
I would weigh about 175. And nobody would fight me at 170, so I had to take a catchweight fight against a guy at 205. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I'm not missing the first event, And all I could remember is getting in that boxing ring and looking down and looking across at this big ass dude.
Big dude.
I'm like, man, I've never been afraid to fight anybody, but I was petrified of falling out and breaking my neck. Like I was so not wanting that to happen. I wound up knocking him out in 19 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, something inside me was like, end this.
Just
fast,
get it over with.
know?
Yeah.
And it was a pretty bad knockout. Like, he was out standing up, skid mark on his face when he got up, and the whole news of Panama and Colombia and Costa Rica like blew up, and instantly the fight league was like it took traction, you know. So we bought a cage.
So now you stayed in Panama, or you came back to the States and organized this?
I fully stayed.
You
We
stayed
lived in Panama for 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd still be there if I didn't have my daughter.
Yeah.
You know, she really changed my perspective on, you know, what I needed to do in life. But as a bachelor living in Panama, I was having a pretty good time.
That's amazing.
It was pretty cool.
You lived right in Panama City?
Yeah, I lived in Panama City. I became really, really close with Duran. I used to go to his house every week, his restaurant every weekend, and drink champagne with him. He liked drinking champagne. And one weekend he puts his arm around me. He's like, my son's going to California to talk to De Niro. They're going to do a movie about me. I'm like, oh my God. I give him a big hug. And he's like, you want to be in it? I was like, hell yeah, I want to be in this.
That's awesome.
It was like surreal, dude. I was on set in Panama with De Niro, Usher, Edgar Ramirez. And I walked up to Mr. De Niro. I'm like, sir, you know, I can't believe I'm working with you and I'm 5 feet away from you in Panama. Like, I'm a young Italian kid from Brooklyn. I grew up idolizing you, you know. It was pretty cool.
That's pretty amazing.
And the casting company wound up keeping all my information, and 6 months later they did an MMA movie called Kimura, and I actually played myself in the movie. That was pretty cool too, you know. And
where's that at? Where can we watch that? Where can we watch Kimura?
it's only in Spanish.
Okay.
But if you go to Netflix, Prime, Amazon Prime, and you search Kimura, it's Kimura. It'll come up, and I think there's another app that you have to download to get it, but it's not subtitled either in English.
Yeah.
What,
That's cool. How was that?
It was awesome. I had a lot of fun doing it. It was cool to see.
So you played? You just played an MMA fighter?
Yeah, yeah. They had like this. It was a tournament called Kimura, and I was just one of the fighters in the tournament.
Right.
And I also did a different scene, and they had like a club where guys were like doing underground fights in the club, and I filmed for like 10 hours barefoot on a dance floor doing fight scenes. My feet were fucked up after it. So like,
damn.
Yeah.
What do you guys think the best MMA movie ever done is?
I thought the one with Joel Edgerton and Tom Hardy's not bad. They're brothers. A little unrealistic, but
yeah. Well, no movie's ever spot on, but
right, true. But I mean, like
he's a
two
great
brothers
actor,
end up fighting each other.
What was that called? I
Fucking
can't
pretty
even think of the name of
far-fetched.
it.
Warrior.
Yeah, that would probably be my pick too.
If you ask me, I'd have to say Here Comes the Boom. Because that movie is hilarious, and it was meant to be hilarious, and it hit the mark.
Yeah.
Warrior, I think.
Warrior's
like
alright.
Frankie said,
It's the only one that's really. So what other one? I thought fighting with Channing Tatum. It's not really an MMA movie, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
You know, he fought Kung Lee in there. You know that?
Yeah. What was the wrestling one way back in like the 80s? It was a wrestling one.
No holds bar with Hulk Hogan and Zeus.
No, it was like about a high school wrestler.
Oh, Vision Quest.
Vision Quest. Yeah.
Remember Vision Quest?
Yeah.
Come on.
Those movies back then got me into wanting to compete, like best of the best.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, best of the best, definitely.
Like,
You ever see that best of the best?
Yeah, the Van Damme stuff get you into it. Yeah, Bloodsport.
Dude,
Kickboxer, Bloodsport.
When Bloodsport came out, I literally remember saying, "Why can't this be a real thing?"
Bro, your movie Kimura, Kimura is kind of probably like Bloodsport, like Kumite,
Well,
right? In a sense, right? You said it was a fighting tournament.
Dim
it was in a cage. It was.
What'd you say?
Dim Ka, isn't that Death Touch?
Dimmak.
Dimmak, is it Dim Ka?
Dimmak. You want some Dim Ka in your mouth?
I'm not a fighter, pal. Not a fighter.
But this whole conversation is exactly why I brought up the idea that I had. There are some movies that are MMA based.
Yeah.
But there's nothing really that's like a true MMA story through and through. And me and Frankie and our group of friends that came through Rhino all have an awesome story.
Yeah.
So
who were some of the other guys that were involved in Rhino? Coleman, was he
Jay
was
Coleman, George Sullivan, who just did his last
he
fight.
Just got
he retired, winning the belt at Ring of Combat.
That's amazing. Yeah, he was retired for how many years?
I don't know, but he was out of the game for a little bit.
Yeah, he lost, I think, 25 pounds. Like, he looks good. He's in his 40s, right?
Yeah.
Looks good.
Totally dominated the fight.
That was cool to come back and win like that. That's cool, to take that much time off. And then, because he's like a career guy now. I know he's got like a power washing business. Yeah. He's got the gym. He's got all this. I think he maybe just needed that,
Yeah.
Just needed that, So that was cool.
And the cool thing about that, too, I went to the fights, and I haven't seen Lou Neglia in forever. I give Lou Neglia a hug, and I don't even realize there's like a camera crew filming him. And he's like, hey, you guys know Frankie Bam Bam? The guy's like, yeah, I know Frankie. He's like, well, he's a fighter. Interview him. So I did an interview about Lou in his documentary that night. It was pretty cool.
So who named you Bam Bam? Where'd you get that name?
So when I started fighting out here in Jersey, I was using Frankie Knuckles.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Panamanians trying to say Knuckles? So I had to switch it up, and I was thinking, what am I going to do? And I had two roommates at the time, my friend John and my friend Xavier, and I was pretty frustrated one day, and I got mad, and I hit the kitchen cabinet, and it came flying off the wall. And Xavier's like, damn, Bam Bam, why don't you chill the fuck out? I was like, that's a good one.
It just stuck.
That's good, though.
And I used it, and it was easy for, people of all languages. It's not hard to say Bam Bam.
Yeah.
So what was the name of the promotion down there?
Panama Fight League.
Panama Fight League.
And then we changed it to Ultimate Combat Challenge.
Now, what happened to that? You said you were there for 14 years. Obviously, you came back when you had your daughter. Were you spearheading the whole operation? So when you left, it just died, or
no? There's a guy named Ramphis Isaacs. He's the owner and the president. He basically put everything in place that I was doing. He got people to take care of once I left. It wasn't like I just picked up and left. I had my baby's mom needed a visa to come, which took 2 years. So instead of giving him a 2 weeks notice, I gave him a 2 years notice. So by the time I was ready to leave, he was all set up. But they're thriving.
It's still going.
Yeah, you know who came through there? Wow. And I wrote you about this before the fight. Cheeto Vera.
Oh, yeah?
No way.
Yeah, Cheeto Vera came through there.
He's from Ecuador.
Yeah.
Basically, all of the guys that you see come from like Central America have been through that fight league.
No shit. Yeah. He actually fought in it, or came through
he fought in it.
Wow.
We were on the same card a few times.
No shit. Yeah. That's awesome.
When was your last fight?
2016. March of 2016.
For them?
Yeah, it's my last fight period that I did. I was actually thinking of maybe doing a boxing match.
Yeah.
But then I had a heart attack last week.
Yeah, dude. You were kind of filling us in when you got here, but so yeah, you said you were laying down with your girl, and then what? You guys got a feeling? What happened? Like pain down your arm, short of breath, your heart out, you bumping out your chest. What was it?
It was none of those things, and that's why I was so sure that I was not having a heart attack because.
But what was the feeling?
Like right down the center of my chest, it felt like the worst gas pressure possible. Like it was just a lot of pressure and constant. It wasn't throbbing. It was just like this pressure. And my girl was like, please come with me and get an EKG. Let's just go to the hospital. I'm like, no, I'm stubborn. I'm like, this is gas. It's nothing. And like 20 minutes later, it got so bad I was on my hands and knees like trying to put pressure on my chest, and my whole body was sweating. I told my girlfriend, please get me some ice, get me something to cool me down. She comes in with ice and puts it on the back of my head and pops 4 baby aspirin in my mouth. She's like, swallow this now. So I did. Like 20 minutes later, I started feeling a little better, still stubborn as hell. She's begging me to go to the hospital. I'm like, it's gas. I'm drinking ginger ale, trying to burp. And probably like 20 minutes after that, I started feeling like tingling in my jaw and a pain. And I Googled jaw pain and chest pain, immediately angina, heart attack. I was like, all right, babe, I'm ready to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Jeez. So what do they do? Like a full stress test? And like
you go into the
echocardiogram?
When you tell them you have chest pains, they immediately do the EKG. So they did that. They got the results from the EKG. And guys, I never seen nothing like it. It was like in the movies. The guy comes running with the wheelchair, puts me in it, and literally was running through the hospital yelling, "Get out of the way!" Full speed, running with me. And I'm like thinking to myself, well, I guess I am having a heart attack. You know, you're like, by now I know what's up.
Were you feeling a little better at this point? Or
no, it was still pretty bad. They wheeled me into this room. There was like 20 people in the room. It's 3:30 in the morning. We were like the only people in the ER, and I'm having a heart attack. So everybody was there. They stripped me butt naked and started sticking me with IVs and popping pills in my mouth and talking frantically. Finally, the doctor comes to me and he's like, "Yeah, you're showing signs of a heart attack, so we have the catheter team coming in." So I had to wait for them to get there, like 20 minutes. First thing the doctor tells me is, "Well, look, we're going to be moving at the speed of light. Every single second counts right now, but you need to know that 1 in every 1,000 people dies of a stroke from this operation." I was like,
"What? 1 in 1,000?"
Okay. Yeah. So all I remember is going in there, getting prepped up, and praying to God, praying to my Father up in heaven, you know, just take care of me, let me see me through this. And when I came out, the doctor was like, "How much aspirin did your girl give you?" I said, 4 baby aspirin. He's like, "You're a lucky son of a bitch."
Probably
He's like,
saved your
"That's
life, right?"
exactly what she had to give you. He said, "If she didn't give you that, you wouldn't have made it to the hospital."
Now that does what? Thin your blood out so that it
Yes.
pumps easier. Yeah, okay.
And then she double saved my life because I'd still be sitting home waiting for the gas to pass if it wasn't for her, you know.
Better put a ring on that finger.
Yeah. So, boy, they put the stent in the heart, right? That's what they said.
I had one artery that was 100% blocked.
That's what a heart attack is, right? Something gets blocked, pretty much.
So, like, for like 3.5 hours, I was in cardiac arrest, not even knowing it, with no blood getting to that part of my heart. So part of my heart actually died because it didn't get blood for so long. And in the emergency room, they're only allowed to treat what's threatening your life at the moment. So they put a stent in the artery that was 100% blocked, and they left the right one has 80% blockage and the left one has 70%, and they just left them and told me I had to come back next month to get those done because they weren't like, threatening my life at the moment. So like, instead of just doing it while you're in there, you know,
so how do they go in?
So my arms all hairy and shaved here. They go right in through that
artery.
vein.
The artery, and they put it.
Well, they prepped me on my groin too,
Yeah.
but they try to do here because it's easier to pressure it.
I've had it done on my groin twice.
You had to have like the heavy bag on it, right?
Yeah. They were because it could open up. If it opens up, you could bleed out.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know who goes in tomorrow for a nuclear stress test? Louis, Big Perm.
Really?
Yeah, he's been having issues. So he had the echocardiogram, a bunch of stuff. The next step is the nuclear stress test.
Now, what is that, like running on the treadmill and all that shit?
No, I think he did that already. They put like a dye in your body, I guess. I don't know exactly what it is or how they check the flow of it through your body. How, I don't know, but that's tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 15th, right? Yeah. So.
Now, what do they say for like your next steps? You have to still get the stents and the other stuff?
Yeah, the reason I have to wait a month is they give you like certain medications so that no plaque or blood clots form on the stent that they put in. So I got to take that for a month, come off of it, and then they can do it again. And then I'll have to take that stuff for a month. And then from there, it's just managing the disease. You know, I got to take some medication. I have to eat differently.
Do you eat bad? You look like you're in great shape, man. Like you don't eat good?
I like I said, I was working a very strenuous night shift job. So I would go there eating normally and lose weight every day. And I just wasn't trying to lose weight. So I was eating like as much high calorie stuff as I could. And you know, a lot of that stuff is shit food. Yeah. But that's how I was
like
keeping
processed
the weight
stuff,
on
you mean? Or
yeah, just like, you know, processed, high calorie.
Yeah.
You know, I was drinking a 1,500 calorie shake before I went in. And, you know, just with the genes that I have for heart disease running in my family, it was a bad combo. Yeah. You know, I look perfectly healthy on the outside, but my heart was just like...
That's the thing. A lot of people do, you know. I see, like... I know of I didn't know him personally, but I knew the story. It was like an ultra marathon runner. The guy looked like, you know, $1 million and did these ultra marathon and he dropped dead, and I know another guy that's a friend that had a heart attack and lived, but another guy's super great shape and ultra marathon runner you would never think it would happen to. He survived. But,
I mean, look at you. You look good on the
no,
outside.
I don't know,
and
man.
you're all tore up inside.
So I do thank God for one thing, and that's I had a brain and I didn't let them give me that jab, because I probably definitely would if that was the case.
Listen, we could go on.
That was added into
we
the
could
mix,
go on
this would be a
all
different story.
day. Trust me, I follow you. We're on the exact same page, but we'll just get shadow banned if we talk about it. So it's a crazy world we live in.
Shadow banned.
Maybe not even shadow banned. Maybe just banned completely.
No.
You don't think we're shadow banned, buddy?
I think nobody likes you.
You think that's what it is? I think you talk about certain subjects and you see your viewership numbers
They got their
plummet.
algorithms.
You know what I mean? So
Keep us quiet.
yeah, but I 100% agree with you, and I think most people do. They just, something's got to happen here. World's going to hell.
It's not gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing.
I know. I'm starting to believe you, Frankie, and that's the scary part. Is
Everyone will know, and no one will care.
it kind of seems.
We've been. What's the word I said?
What is it?
Oh my God! What's the word? What's the word he was saying? Disorient? No.
Dystopia?
No.
Don't know, pal.
I gotta look. I'll look for it
All right,
later.
you look
Anyway,
for it.
I'm talking about the Russian guy, the Russian.
Oh
ex-KGB guy.
yeah. And he said
We've
that
been
what?
demoralized.
He said that
We've
what?
been demoralized. Like
30 years ago.
Yeah,
he said that.
30 years ago. Yeah, it's like if we don't do something now, we're screwed. He's like, so we're pretty much essentially living what he was talking about.
Yeah.
He says we're at the point where no matter what people see, even if once they see the real news out, even if you show them a video and pictures, they're not gonna believe it anyway because we've been demoralized. And that's exactly what happened. Like
Just
all
happened.
this stuff happens with the January 6th.
Just happened.
They see the videos and nothing happens. Nothing changes. The story doesn't change. Nobody gets held accountable, bro. Yeah. So like, listen, they're gonna find like the Epstein list is gonna come out, and nobody's gonna get fucking held accountable.
No.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I used to I'd watch these Senate House. I said we weren't going to go in. Let's just touch on it. But I'd watch these these House committee meet where they like interrogate people, and they're like, fucking people are going to be held accountable. People are going to go to jail. When they had like Twitter execs on that stuff. Nothing ever fucking happens. I'm so sick of it, man. I get behind these people and I'm like, yeah, fucking justice. Finally, nothing ever happens. Fuck all of them.
Yep.
Fuck them all. I can't stand them all. Sorry.
That's why you get behind. That's why you get behind them, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. We need a leader. Someone stand up.
I don't know though, man. You know who we were talking about? That was that in one of our things? I think that was after. We were talking after. It was like extra. Champ and a Tramp extra. We were saying like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna go fucking really create like an army or a militia and this and that. And you're like, no, but I'll follow
Tim Kennedy.
You're like, I'll follow him.
In a minute.
And I was like, yeah, but then we're just gonna be home and protect our family. But I don't know, because think about it, like in 1776 when you're fighting these guys, you had to go fight them because otherwise your family had nothing.
No, most
You know
people
what I mean?
stayed home. Most people stayed home. It was only 3%. But it was a different time, Now we got a fucking nutty president saying you can't take on an F-14. You know what I mean? Back then it was a bunch of guys with muskets, and 3% of the colonists took on Britain, and they won. You know what I mean? We got our independence.
Think about this though. Well, yeah, I guess. I'm not saying not fighting ourselves. Like say we got. Someone said this. Like say we got invaded here in America. You know how many fucking guns we have? You know how many guns we have? It ain't like yo, look at Ukraine, but look at Ukraine. Look at Ukraine. Ukraine's not getting taken over because the civilians are taking up arms.
Right.
They don't have fucking guns. They're getting given guns. Everybody got guns here.
Yeah.
Like it ain't gonna be easy for anybody to come take our fucking country.
But it won't happen like that.
That's why the politicians are trying to grab us.
How do you know how will it happen?
They'll just slowly regulate us to death.
No. I'm not saying. I'm saying if someone else comes to invade our country.
No, I don't see that happening. I mean, the biggest superpower that we're up against right now, I mean, arguably Russia, but it's China, right? China knows that they can't defeat us.
China's by far
What do you mean?
They can't defeat us by invading us.
I don't know.
You know what
We
they
have the
can do?
strongest
They're gonna defeat us through TikTok.
No, you know what they can do? Like those fucking balloons.
That's
got
how they are
flying
defeating
over?
us.
All it takes is one EMP, That's it. An electromagnetic pulse.
Yeah.
Boom! Knock out the power grid, and we're done.
Yeah.
And we're
Do
letting.
you really
fly
think that's
balloons
what?
over
Do you
the
really
country.
think those are what those are? Chinese spy balloons? You think that's? You really believe that? You
No,
think they,
I don't.
I don't either.
Because they said they are.
Yeah.
They told us they are.
I don't
so that
believe
means
it.
they're definitely not.
I don't believe that's
Right?
what they were at all.
Like, think about it. If say those spy balloons in the fucking 90s, 1991. Okay, I'm 10 years old. Your fucking guys are probably a little bit older. All right, all right.
12.
Okay, 12. You're 16. All right, and. They in the news, in the Channel 5 news, because they ain't got no Twitter or nothing. The Channel 5 news, oh God, there's a balloon in the sky, and they're gonna come back the next day. Oh, it just turns out it's just a weather balloon that got stray. They wouldn't tell us it's fucking Chinese spy balloon. They would lie to us.
Right.
So if they're telling us it's a Chinese spy
Well,
balloon,
you're seeing that now
they're
with-
lying to us.
You're seeing that now with the whole alien shit. They denied
Yeah,
it for decades.
Yeah,
They denied it.
correct.
And now they're saying, yeah.
All right.
Like, yeah, they've been documented. We've documented this for fighter jet pilots. Have been documenting this forever, and we believe it's real. So you're seeing it all now. You know, it's crazy. But I mean, I just refuse to watch the news anymore. You know, I'm on social media, obviously, and we talk about stuff you see, but I don't believe any of it. I believe that I'm so fed up with the fucking system itself. Both sides. I'm not claiming a side anymore. I'm not claiming a side anymore.
I turned them out. I turned them out.
You kind of did a little bit.
I did.
But watching, I just said I don't watch the news, but seeing these, I watch stuff that interests me, you know, to some degree. And these Senate House committee meetings and
You want that shit interest you?
it does, because I think people are going to get held to task, and they
But they're
never,
not,
they
right.
never are ever.
You see Rand Paul always like sticking it to these people and like pretty much.
And I think I love that guy, but
I know.
do I? Is he bought and paid for? Is he?
No, I don't think so.
I don't
It
know.
don't seem like it. Whatever. Anyway, listen. His dad is like really highly regarded, I guess, amongst like libertarians and everything. Anyway, but he sticks it to these guys, right? And everything he says is like sounds like unless you know
Senator Hawley too.
whatever. I'm saying him specifically because I've seen him a couple of his things recently. Like he sticks it to these guys and nothing happens.
Yeah.
He makes them look stupid for the most part,
And nothing ever
nothing
happens.
happens.
Yeah, when's the last time you heard what's the cryptocurrency guy, the young dude?
FSB, the guy.
Yeah, no, but what's his name? Why you haven't heard it? You haven't heard his name in
Bankman-Fried.
Bankman-Fried.
yeah. Haven't heard his name since it happened, right? Why? Why is that? Big news for about a week or two, right? They were going to hold
the
it.
banks
He was
the banks just went up.
Yeah, and
That's
I
why.
heard they all took huge bonuses right before they went under. It's fucking corrupt, bro. It's. I'm so sick of it, and everybody is. Just none of us know what to do. None of us know what to do. Show me a fucking leader. You know what I mean?
What do you mean though? Like, what's a leader gonna do? What can a leader do?
Someone that has actual integrity and honesty, and wants to fight for what our forefathers believed in. Why are you laughing? What do you believe in? What do you want?
What?
I don't know. You're laughing. Why are you laughing at?
Because like who's gonna like? What
That's
do you
right.
mean?
I don't know who,
But
obviously.
you want someone to run like to be the run for president, or you want someone to rise up? and-
Listen,
what do you mean?
like we have Trump, right? Has a huge following, but they are so against this guy. Does he have a shot? Does he have a shot?
You think Trump is your shining?
No, I said Tim Kennedy.
Knight in armor?
Tim, step
is.
up. Tim
He is.
Kennedy's my guy.
He is. I'm with you.
I would vote for that dude in a second.
Yeah.
To run for any political platform whatsoever, any. I'm not saying president. Obviously, probably has no interest in it, but
That's the problem. Who the fuck wants to run for president?
right.
Only people that are a little self-absorbed.
No political guy that I can remember. I'm sure there was probably some ever did anything brave ever. Tim Kennedy has. You know what I mean?
No, well, every
In a lot of arenas.
every president, I believe, I don't know, but every like
Avoided
at
the
least-
draft.
No.
What?
I mean, maybe, but no. I think most, except Trump, has served our military in some way, shape, or form.
Right, but they never actually
I don't know
saw
if they-
action.
maybe.
They're
I
always
think
they always get.
Kennedy did. Kennedy, didn't he?
I'm sure I'm misspeaking on some. If you can give me an example that's actually true,
I
I'm
thought
sure
Kennedy did. I thought
most of them that
Kennedy was a
that
pilot, right? Wasn't he?
served did. They were like a journalist. Fucking hundreds of miles from the battlefield or some bullshit.
Well, Trump
you know?
was, or Trump, Bush. I think they
Yeah, it's usually some
put him
scenario
in the
like
right
that.
spot or something.
But how can you have? We were having a
Bill Clinton, he wasn't in the military.
We were having.
He was a Rhodes Scholar. You know that? He was the only president that was a Rhodes Scholar.
I didn't know that. But who were we talking? Oh, Jordan Peterson. We were talking about Jordan Peterson the other day when we were down here.
Yeah.
And with Wes, actually. Wes had a good point. You know, and I'm a Jordan Peterson fan, you know what I mean? But it's like, how can you get behind a guy that talks the talk but doesn't really walk the walk? He talks about, you know, being, you know,
independent,
brave and courageous, and, you know, being, what's the word he used? Every man should be a savage, or what's the word he used?
Like a warrior in the garden.
Yeah, something to that effect. But was he ever? Was Jordan Peterson ever? I don't know. And I didn't think of that until, because he's so well spoken and he makes his point so well. I can't articulate words like that. He can. So I'm a huge fan. But did he ever walk the walk? Dude like Tim Kennedy did. And he's also articulate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think he's a special dude, Tim Kennedy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good guys out there, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Jocko Willenick.
Sure, for sure. Yeah, that'd be your guy, Jocko.
He's pretty good.
He is.
I'm at Tim. Tim's my guy.
Now we'll talk about a guy that seems to be pretty even keeled. He seems to be kind of in the middle, although
good.
I think Rogan, right?
Rogan, yeah.
I think Rogan would be great. I'm sure he has no fucking interest in it at all.
If you ever try,
he has no interest in it at all. Where I can see Tim Kennedy might dabble. You know what I mean? But
Tim Kennedy would do it if he thinks it's gonna like save our country or something.
Well, he's got kids, you know what I mean? I think I mean, not that Rogan doesn't, but I just think Rogan has no fucking interest in throwing his hat. He does so well at what he's doing already, you know? So.
Either one of those guys, I think, would have the right perspective to do it, but I think Rogan would have a really hard time getting there.
Yeah, I think he'd be so much less inclined than you know, I don't want to speak for Tim. Obviously, I have no fucking clue, but I could see him going down that avenue. Yeah. I can't see Rogan going down that avenue, you know?
So Panama, when you were in Panama, it was safe there? Safe there, right? Everything normal city.
I mean, just like anywhere else you go, there's good parts and bad parts.
Yeah. Have you been back since?
Yeah, I went back a few times.
Do you need a passport to go there?
Yeah.
Or not a passport, a visa?
You don't. As an American citizen, you get an automatic 6-month visa.
Okay.
So you could stay up to 6 months. Actually, when I first moved out there, before I got my residency there, I would stay for like 5 months and 3 weeks, and then take a 45-minute flight to Medellin, Colombia, and stay there for 2 weeks. And as long as you're out of the country for 2 weeks, you can get a new 6 month when you come back.
Oh, wow.
So I just go chill in Colombia for 2 weeks. Boy, Medellin is something else.
I hear good stories about Colombia. The girls over there.
Medellin, there's something in the water, bro.
I've been to Medellin, actually. Yeah, in 2020 I went.
I would get off the plane and like immediately, oh my God, this is the hottest girls I ever see. And then I'd get to the hotel, and the girl working in the hotel, she's not. No, wait, that's the hottest girl. No, that's the hottest girl I ever see.
Now you did all this traveling there, solo?
Yeah, most of it.
Yeah.
Most of it. My dad, he passed away 3 years ago. He would be at every one of my fights, so he would meet me and be in my corner, which helped me a lot because. I mean, Frankie, you can relate because you fought all over the place. Yeah. You know, but you fought for the UFC. There's like very good medical attention right there. You know, I was fighting in third world countries all over the place, and having my dad in my corner just gave me some relief that, like, God forbid something happens.
Familiar face.
One of my fights in Panama, dude lifted me up. I practiced a lot of Muay Thai, so I must have had like a small fracture in my tibia, maybe, and when he picked me up and I landed, my leg just snapped right underneath me, you know, full tibia break. It was the first tibia break in MMA. They called me, I'm in Panama, TMZ called me up, can we use your video, it's viral. And my dad was there. I mean,
tibia and fibula, both broke?
No, just the tibia. So from my knee to my ankle is all titanium, and it took me 13 months to get back in the cage. So 12 months after, I already had my next fight lined up, and I'm watching the UFC, and Anderson Silva breaks his shit, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, he's never gonna fight again." I'm like, "The fuck he ain't." If I'm fighting again, I'm sure he's gonna, you know. And lo and behold, he came out back and fought. You know?
There was a guy before him, Corey Hill.
Yeah.
Corey Hill broke his. I think his was actually worse. And listen, Spider, his break, Anderson Silva's break was god awful, but Corey Hill's, it actually looked like the foot just kept going around the leg, like it almost like looped. He had this long, well, Anderson does too, but It was.
He was 6'6" at
Oh,
155.
bro! You know he died shortly thereafter. Yeah, I forget of what, but he lied. You remember? He lied to get in the house and said he had like whatever 5 amateur ranked fights. He didn't have any.
Really?
Yeah, and he still got in. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. Yeah, man. So, are you still able to? Do you still train? I mean, do you weight train? Do you still train MMA at all?
I weight train. To be honest, I hated MMA training.
Yeah.
I just loved fighting.
Yeah.
So I did it in order to be
Jersey
able to fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as soon as I hung the gloves up, I stopped all MMA training. But I work out. I keep my body in shape. You know,
Cool.
weight train, cardio.
Now, were you a scrapper? Were you a boardwalk scrapper like this guy? This guy,
Yeah.
you know, he earned his his name in the streets. But you're a Jersey guy. I feel like anybody. I'm from Maine, and I moved here, and I scrapped a bunch of times in Seaside.
I used to come out of Temps and all those clubs out there, and I was friends with all the bouncers anyway.
Yep.
I would routinely beat up like 5 or 6 dudes.
Yeah,
outside the club.
The Bennies.
Yeah. I would routinely get into a fight with like 4 or 5 guys. My boys would be with me. I'm like, no, I got this. I got this. Stay over there. But, yeah, those are the young and carefree days.
People don't understand. I mean, I guess it's like that everywhere, but like Seaside was just like it was
Notorious.
the mecca for scrapping, and you know they had a little bit of a corrupt police department back in the day.
No,
they would
give it to people.
They would fucking put a whooping on you if you got like. Listen, you know, usually everybody that was involved, they'd wrap you up. But if you were a smart mouth motherfucker, started mouthing off to the cops too, they'd take you around the corner and beat the fuck out of you in the back of the car. And they got a couple big lawsuits. And
It was before, what do they call them?
Body cam.
Body cams.
Yeah.
They actually passed a law at one point. It was like $1,000 a punch.
$1,000. I'd make that shit worth it, buddy.
Wait, what do you mean 1,000?
Like they would fine you.
Yeah.
Like
Seaside. How would they know? How would they know?
Cops would be whatever the cops would say happened. You know?
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
I should just dip right away.
Yeah, that's the key. Don't stick around.
Never
Get
be
out.
where you were.
Right.
Because that's what I tell. I mean, my kids.
And if you got good friends, nobody drops your name either.
Right. Well,
if you're
just
with
don't
your
be where you are.
crew-
Because if you're where you are, either they're going to come back with more people,
Right.
they're going to come back with weapons, or the cops are going to come back.
Exactly.
Like, get the fuck out of
Exactly. Yep.
here. Simple.
We don't. The kids these days will never know about that though, because that whole
Different
scene
world,
is
bro.
gone.
It's a different world, man. People,
I don't know. I don't
people-
know. I don't know about that.
You think people believe in scrapping now? People believe in.
I still think so. Yeah.
I don't think so, bro.
I think so.
For the most part, no.
I think so.
You think
so.
alpha
Little
males?
kid in high
you think
school-
alpha
high school-
males run amok?
No, not like our age people, or like I'm saying like high school kids, college kids. I bet you they're still scrapping.
No, that's because your kid's an alpha, and they wrestle and they're physical, and that's the crew they hang out with, so they see it. Overall, the vast majority of
The
kids
nation
now,
has become pussified.
no,
Yeah, well, this whole country has. I mean, it's just kind of
it's
everything. Every aspect of our lives are getting softer.
100%. Yeah, and I don't
Everything.
think that's a good thing.
No, I don't.
Makes you more controllable, makes you more malleable, makes you more, you listen to what you're told and don't
Certainly.
question things.
They're trying to make it seem like it's a bad thing. You know?
Yeah. There's articles out now that just are the dumbest thing ever. You know how the right, what was the article? Something like the right and it being into fitness and how it's a bad thing. It's like the right and fitness. I forget.
You're into fitness, right?
If you put fitness in your mouth. Fucking guy still using lines from 2012 over here. Yeah, so it's there's always like lows and highs to society, right? I mean, we're definitely, how much lower does it get? You know what I mean? Before it starts coming back up.
But like they say, like hard men create good times. Good times create soft men create hard times, right? Whatever,
Exactly.
something like that.
Who actually said that? Because a bunch of
Tim
people.
Kennedy.
He did.
Well, I don't know. I've heard him say it plenty of times.
Yeah, I've heard other people say it, but I wonder who actually originated that quote. I thought it was, and I think I'm wrong, but I thought it was
Heraclides.
Huh?
Heracles.
No. Who's the Rogan loves him? The dude that Goggins.
No, definitely not him.
Yeah, it wasn't.
No.
Well, it's not Goggins.
Goggins in his book though talks about this is like in some Greek shit where it's like there's 100 warriors on the battlefield. He's like 80 of them shouldn't even be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like 10 of them are or 10 of them are just sacrificial lambs. 9 of them they'll fight with their best, but one is the warrior. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
like 300. The movie 300.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember they met with the other group. They were going to the gates. What are they called? The Narrows, and they met the other group that were going there too.
Yeah.
And he said, "What do you do?" And the one guy was like, I work with steel. And the other guy was like, and they turned around and said to his guys, "What do you do?" And they fucking said, "We fight."
Yeah. I drive trucks.
Oh shit.
So you don't roll or nothing no more? Hit pads or nothing though?
I've been dying to go see Rob and hit pads just to get some aggression out, but I haven't done anything.
If you did, if you went, where would you go?
I'd go see Rob.
Rob.
Yeah, I'd go over see Rob and George at the academy over there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sure.
right. It's right here, right, Fisher? Yeah. You're in Howell.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Dante's over in Howell.
He is.
Well, he's in Freehold.
Howell
close,
border.
yeah.
But Dante is like constantly so busy.
He is.
Oh yeah.
He don't stop.
No, I know it.
He
I
don't
know it.
stop.
You know.
So
Who would ever
Gotta
think
keep
that
going.
guy would be so? He was like Dante back in the day. Dude was dangerous.
He's a bad dude.
Dude,
man.
people don't realize Dante was like a dangerous dude. Not that he's still not a dangerous dude, but he's so good with kids.
He was like my big brother.
Who would
when
ever?
we were growing up.
Who would ever think it? You know what I mean? Like if you knew him back in the day, you'd be like, Dante's not a dude you want to fuck around with. And now his entire academy is pretty much little
he's so
kids,
good with
and
the
he's
kids.
so good with them. Yeah, it's crazy.
Growing up, he was like a big brother to me.
Yeah.
And,
Is he older than you?
yeah, he's got like 5 years on me.
Yeah, he looks good for his. Both of you guys look good for your age.
I'll be 44 next month.
What are you,
So-
41?
41.
41. I'm the old guy. Is Dante older than me? I'm 47. Is he? No.
I think Dante's 49, bro.
Is he?
Yeah,
Looks
he's
good,
Like, he's
49,
like 5 years
bro.
older than me. One day, I was young, man. I was like 13, 14 years old, freshman in high school type, and some dude was like picking on me in the mall, in Freehold Mall, and he hung him off the second floor balcony and got banned from the mall for life. He was dangling his ass over the balcony.
Oh shit! Like Vanilla Ice.
He is a funny guy.
What, that was on Vanilla Ice?
Yeah, didn't he tell a story where Suge Knight hung him over a
No,
balcony?
that was MC Hammer.
No.
It was
MC
Vanilla
Hammer?
Ice.
Vanilla Ice.
It was, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
he
they did the
says.
same thing
I don't
with
think the
MC
story was ever confirmed, but Vanilla Ice says it was a contract dispute or whatever. It says he fucking hung him, his guys, I guess, hung him over a fucking balcony.
What's his name? Death Row. Suge Knight.
Yeah, Suge. Yeah. Suge's still in jail, right? Fucking, you like ran a dude over
Yeah.
in his
I
pickup
think
truck.
so.
Yeah. Yep. Getting a little gummy action here.
Can I?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll take it over.
Thank you. So, talk to us a little bit. I don't. Did we talk about it on air? Or were we talking about before this movie premise you had?
We got into it a little bit.
We should talk about. You know what we should talk about? We should talk about because you guys were both part of it, and it's kind of legendary. Rhino fight team. Like, talk about that a little bit, and how you guys both got involved in that. You were both there at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually was looking for somewhere to start training MMA. I was doing PAL boxing, and I wanted to fight MMA. I'm like, enough with these pillow fights. And Dante was just starting to train people, and I asked him, like, where's the best place that I can go right now? And he's like, look, you come with me, but if you go with these guys at Rhino, you'll fight every day, and you'll be ready to fight quicker. So I was like, enough said, Dante. Went and talked to Rob, and it was everything Dante promised and more. I would get more beat up training than in my fights most of the time.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
It was commonplace for one of us to break a nose, have to get stitches, you know.
That's crazy.
But I mean, that's
And wasn't
how
that like a tiny little gym?
it was.
Tiny.
It was
Maybe
small.
2 of these rooms, maybe?
Really?
No, a little bit bigger than
What,
2
like
of
a
these.
little strip mall? It was on 37, right?
No, it was
No,
just-
no,
it was like a
Manalogan
stick
Road.
house,
It's Manalogan
Oh, it was
Road.
a brick. That's right. Yeah, brick. Yeah.
It was Pellegrino's old place.
Okay. Now Pellegrino's in Belmar. Yeah.
And they were really one of the first, like, academies or schools, whatever you want to call it, that was about everything about MMA in under one roof.
Yeah.
You know, even Dante was really mainly just jiu-jitsu at that time, and then, like, you know, he trained guys for fights, but everybody in Rhino was there to fight MMA, either amateur or pro. There was nobody there just learning for fun.
Right.
You know, so it was a real serious place and a real brotherhood, man. We'd go to every single one of the fights, all of us.
That's awesome.
All 50, 60 of us, however many, would walk that person out to the ring. Like, we were just a tight
Now,
crew. Like,
where were
all those guys, my brothers.
most of those fights were in AC?
Yeah.
A lot of them were in AC.
I mean, actually, everywhere though. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Kind of up Broadway had some fights.
Frankie's first fight I saw was the illegal underground fight in New York. I'll never forget that shit. His first fight I ever seen of him. And I'm standing there with my boy Daniel, and I'm like, that motherfucker's going to be the champ one day. And I mean, not trying to say I'm psychic, but...
I remember you talking about that fight. It was like a basement, basically. But how'd you beat that guy?
No, it wasn't a basement. It was a boxing gym.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, shithole, anyway, you said. I remember.
I mean, it's just an old school boxing gym. It had no AC. It was fucking 110 degrees in there.
Like,
How'd you beat
MMA was completely illegal at
TKO.
that point in New York.
Really?
I had bottom.
Really? Is that true?
Yeah.
That was legal?
My fight was literally no rules.
Really?
I could have fucking hit him with a chair if I could have grabbed it, I guess.
So on the ground, you had about him or standing up on the ground?
On the ground. I had him mounted and I'm like, boom. I don't give
Damn.
It was vicious.
Is that on video somewhere?
Yeah.
It is. Gotta watch that. Now there's I've heard the story, so I guess for me it's not an urban legend, but it's an urban legend for a lot of people out there that Frankie got a piece of his ear kicked off and it was not hanging, but on display at Team Rhino. Is that true?
I do remember that, actually.
Was that Jim Miller who kicked your ear off?
Jim Miller kicked a
Chunk
piece
of
of my ear off.
Yeah. And who picked that? That was an AC.
Rob picked it up.
Picked it up.
Well, it's funny because like in the video, I remember watching the video back. You know, it was like literally camcorders back then.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I guess so. There's still camcorders. I don't know. Well, anyway,
VHS.
fucking something. And my dad at the end of the fight, you know, they're raising my hand. You hear my dad, "Hey, give me that tooth! Give me that tooth!" It looked like when I got hit. It looked like it came out of my mouth. You know what I mean?
You actually see it.
You see it.
That's
You see it fly
crazy.
off my head.
So Rob picks it up, brings it back, and puts it in a display case.
In display case on a paper towel, yeah. It was just shriveling up. After a while, it just started shriveling up. You know, it was literally cartilage. So I don't know where that thing is. I saw Rob actually. I saw Rob 2 weeks. Was it last week? Yeah, I saw Rob this
baby's umbilical cord.
No, 2 weeks ago, I saw Rob at the Atlantic City States. Actually, the night George fought. Yeah. He came up to me. I was eating with Kurt and his family. Kurt just took fitness thing and shit. We're eating, and Rob came up to me. He said hello. And I'm like, people call him. What's up, man? And I'm like, whoa, wait. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, oh fuck, what's up, Rob? How you doing?
He got big, right?
He little thick,
He got big. Rob used to be like a small guy.
Yeah.
Little thick boy.
I did that with the last gig we did at Beacon 7. Remember Rich came up, our firearms instructor?
Yeah.
He came up. He said hi to you.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like busy. I was fucking, we had the kid there and he said hello. And I was like, hey, what's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? Well,
actually,
Frankie's like, you know that was Rich, right? I was like, no, I didn't. I felt like an asshole.
A referee came up to me at my kid's states talking about the kid Jackson. So his family's with them and everything.
Oh, really?
Real cool you guys did.
Yeah.
So.
A couple people have come up in my gym and said, that's a really cool thing you did for them. I live in Lacey, and
it's a good family. They're a good family.
Yeah. So, yeah. So a little boy that lives down. He's my son's age. He's about 7. He's got something called NF1. I can't pronounce what it actually is, but it's actually there's 2 other kids and they all have it, but he's got the most debilitating version of it, I guess. So anyway, he wants to be a cop one day. So they started this movement called Patches for Jacks, where police departments from around the country, and it has really turned into around the world now, can mail patches, and he makes like capes and blankets, and he's got so many of them now. He makes them for other kids, so it's really cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's always good to get behind something like that.
It is, man. I got a weakness for kids, dude. If this, I get DMs all the time for, GoFundMes and things like that. And I'd be lying to say that I don't screen them a little bit, because you can't save the world. Like if I could post 5 a day if I wanted to, but kids get me. I always try to like help out if I can. Some people, honestly, I'm not even lying. Some people are like, hey, my dog needs a hip replacement. Started a GoFundMe for them. Can you? I'm like, I'm drawing the line at hip surgery for a pug. You know what I mean? I can't help you there. So.
What about my hip surgery?
If you're loaded, pal, so you didn't need it. But if you needed help, I would help you, buddy.
Loaded.
I would help you.
Loaded, huh?
You're a good investor. You don't buy. He's got like a normal car. Frankie probably could have afforded some stupid shit. He's got like a normal car. He's not like fucking doesn't go to extremes and buy stupid shit. So
that's one thing I always respect about my brother right here. He never let it get to his head.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
No, never.
First time I met you, I was a fan. Was a Sawmill, and Wuzza was there. I think maybe his brother was there. His other brother, not Ant. Anyway, and they were talking to you, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm a fan." That was early. That was like Tyson Griffin days, And I worked my way over because I know them, and I shook your hand. I was like, "Fuck, I met Frankie Yager." I felt cool. You know what I mean? I was pretty fresh from Maine at that point.
He had sweaty palms. I remember.
But then you started that thing with elite wrestling. You started like, I don't even, what are we calling it? MMA class? What are we calling it?
I was the beginning stages of MMA.
MMA class.
Yeah.
You started, and I heard about it. Jesse knew you, Jesse Holt, and I was like, let's do it. Let's fucking do it. I think we were there the day you started it, and we probably did it for a couple of years.
Yeah,
it was cool.
That was fun.
It was good exercise. There was no way I could ever establish a skill enough to compete because I had no base in anything. I had no wrestling. My high school didn't even offer it. You need that. Were you a wrestler in high school?
No.
You weren't. No. Oh wow. Okay.
I have always had.
George St. Pierre wasn't either.
I always had a gift with my hands.
Yep.
I hit really hard.
Yep.
And basically I learned wrestling and jiu-jitsu to defend it. I tried to keep every one of my fights standing up if I could. Because that's where my strength was.
Styles make fights, right? I mean, it's you get a guy like Dante. He's opposite of you. He'd rather be on the ground.
Not in the beginning, though.
He was a striker.
Yeah.
What was he?
Throwing bombs.
Really?
He was a street brawler.
Yeah.
A street brawler.
And then was it Hoist? No. The other Gracie brother took him under his wing. Henzo,
yep.
Henzo took him under his wing, and that's how he became.
How many people came out of Henzo's school that now have their own schools? Tom DeBlas, Dante.
Well, that's Ricardo. That's Ricardo.
I meant sorry. I meant Ricardo. I don't know why I said Henzo. I meant Ricardo.
But Ricardo comes from Henzo,
right?
Right. But Tom DeBlas, Dante Rivera, Pete McHugh, Steve Bongiorno in South Jersey BJJ. Chris Matakis has a school. And then under Tom is another guy is Montgomery BJJ, and Gary has a school. Then Tom is another guy that has a school in Pinelands. They're everywhere. Yeah, all stemming from those guys.
Soon to be Frankie Yager.
Yeah, I'm gonna have school.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
You come back and jump on the mats when I open a school.
For that, I will.
All right.
For that, I will.
I'm gonna come. How cool is that to work out with your legend? You know what I mean? Work out with your hero.
Bring it back.
That's why I did it. That's why I did it. What was that? 15 years ago, probably. That's why I did it back then. I'd do it again. I'm a little older now, but plus I want to get my kid in there. I want to get my son in there. It'd be cool to roll with my son. It'll fire me up a little bit. You know what I mean?
My daughter's 8, and ever since before she could even walk, I'd have her sitting in my little lap. Punch combos.
Yeah, you must have a bag in your basement. I saw you hitting pads with her and stuff. Yeah,
and,
in the bag.
I try to teach her little by little. I don't overwhelm her with it.
Yeah.
And when she was in first grade, I'll never forget it. I had a call from the principal, and she's like, "Mrs. Bloise, there was a problem at school today with Taylor." I'm like, "What's up?" Well, she was in the lunch line, and one of the boys pushed her, and she put him in a chokehold, and his face turned blue. I said, "Oh, so you calling to congratulate me?"
Yeah.
Taylor, come on, we're going for ice cream.
That's good, man. Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter does jiu-jitsu, actually. She's 8.
I mean, for a girl, that's the best thing possible to know.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, I've been putting on a gi a little bit more myself, so.
Yeah, you've been.
I'm going to choke you out with your shirt there, Roger.
Yeah. What do they say? Greg Anderson was talking about it because he's a big proponent of gi training. Slows everything down, right?
Definitely.
That's the difference.
It takes a lot of that athleticism away. Yeah.
Makes you much more technical.
Yeah.
You just can't rip out of stuff.
Right.
You got to think about what you're doing before you do it, because once you get too far, you're like, shit, I'm kind of locked down.
And that's because
you got to address everything. Everybody just grab your gi. Grab your gi, and that just makes you like, shit, I got to get this loose before I can
You're essentially locked into a suit that controls you, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you can only do so much.
It becomes way more of a chess game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to think a couple moves ahead and not get yourself stuck in a bad
Where
position.
athleticism is not going to help you get out of stuff.
It still helps a little
It
bit.
does, but
Yeah.
the technique is just so much more important at that point, you know?
I'd rather be
Speaking-
athletic.
speaking of that,
I'm athletic.
The last tournament Gordon Ryan wasn't able to make because, do we know why? Was it his stomach issues? Because he got a long
Yeah, I
history.
believe
of
he was sick.
Yeah. And he had to pull out Brait before, right? It wasn't long before.
I think so. I think.
Who won that? I know Nicky Rod was in there. Obviously.
I don't know. I don't remember.
You remember?
Talking about fighting.
Nicky
while
Rod
you're
versus
sick.
Felipe
ADCC.
Penne Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
There was the first Panamanian to go to the UFC. He came from my fight league.
What's his name?
Elton Brown.
Well, wait.
155.
From Panama, and his name's Elton Brown.
Yeah, pretty crazy, right?
Sounds like he's from Chicago.
And the dude went to Mexico to do his first UFC fight and drank the water. And he wound up shitting his pants in the cage.
Oh god!
Damn,
He
bro.
had to fight the whole fight with shit in his drawers.
There's a famous
bro.
video of that. Those two big heavyweights.
Yo, but wait a minute. Hey, I mean, not trying to be like. I mean, maybe it is, but if he drinks the water in Panama, isn't he ain't good for the water in Mexico?
No, because we controlled the canal for so long that we made their water system as well, and the water is great there. It's not like Mexican water.
They call that Montezuma's Revenge.
Yeah. He was. Yeah, man, he was. I felt so
There's
bad
a
for-
famous video of two. I mean, it's a small, like a small venue. I don't know. It wasn't a big car, but it was two fat dudes fighting, and one dude shit his pants.
Yeah, like I stepped in it, right?
Yeah, and they stepped in it, and you see the other guy's like, hugging him, and then he like sees it,
He's like,
steps back, and there was a girl too in the UFC that didn't come out, but like you could see the shit stain on her shorts.
She queefed.
No, she shit her pants. You could see it on her shorts and a couple, and she totally owned it and laughed about it. I forget her name. Can you look that up, Andrew? UFC girl fighter that shit her pants and like made it. Instead of being all embarrassed, like oh my god, like fucking, she made it like funny. She had a good response to it. Because what are you gonna do? Like I'm sure a lot of people do. You know what I mean? Like fucking
A
strange.
lot of people.
There was
but-
so much of the fight
You
where
never
he had
shit your
the
pants,
guy.
Frankie?
No.
He had the guy in the Muay Thai clinch against the cage, and you could just see the brown shit his ass coming off. Man,
What's her name?
I felt so bad for him.
Yeah. And she
Blonde hair chick.
her interview about it is pretty comical, but
Shit happens.
I mean, it's got to be fairly common. You've never farted on a dude, nothing when you're fucking no. Come on,
Farted on a dude?
I actually,
when you're
That's like your weekends. Sounds like your weekends.
I spent a lot of time in Panama at the horse race track, and they did dog races too. And one of the guys that like basically lived there gave me a really good tip one day, and he was like, "Look, you watch these dogs before they go out there. You find the one that's taking a shit." And that's the one you want to bet on.
because he's lighter.
Because he's got no shit in him. And they always, and I thought about it. I was like, this could correlate to fighting. So I made sure every time I fought, I take a huge shit before I went out there.
Well, that's like something like our body does. Your body wants to get rid of
Before traumas and
just anything. Before adrenaline comes to fight, your body wants to get rid of body fluid because that's going to slow you down.
right.
It's like you want to piss. Like I feel like, honestly, I always get like a nervous piss in the back. I'm like, I feel like I gotta piss. I'll go to piss. I'll be like, drip, drip, drip. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm also warming up. I'm like, I gotta piss again, and barely piss. I think that's part of it.
I'm a big fan of Travis Pastrana. He's like an X Games
Yeah,
guy,
he's awesome.
motocross guy. He films a lot of crazy shit. His 199 lives, I think it's called, was his movie that he filmed about it. But a ton was filmed in Panama because
Yes, he did. I
they
remember
get
when he was
away
out there.
with so much
He
over
has
there.
a nitro circus out there.
Yes,
Yeah.
they don't give a fuck over there. Like they
Panama's
go up
cool,
on
man.
these skyscrapers and they jump
right
BMX
off.
bikes from one skyscraper to the other, and it's just a bunch of. And these buildings aren't even completed yet; they're just like steel frames, and all kinds of crazy shit. They're out in the bay. Like his dad got all fucked up. They were on like a speedboat, and his dad, who's in great shape too, just jumped off, but he ate the fucking water so hard, like fucking broke his ribs and shit. Like Panama is just.
It's awesome.
You get away with so much, and it looks beautiful.
I actually had a really sick apartment right on the water, 44th floor, and the tallest building in Panama was like 3 buildings to the left. And one day I'm out on my balcony and I see a helicopter just like hovering right by like the top of the building. I'm like, what the fuck is going on there?
Travis and his
I
crew?
was like, no. Like a month later, I saw the first show that came out. You remember The Rock did that show, The Hero?
I don't.
He did a show called The Hero, and it was like a competition between people. And it was The Rock in the helicopter talking to the people on the roof that were the contestants.
No
I was
shit.
like, holy shit, I watched that shit out of my window.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, no, he did a lot of a lot of his stuff was filmed
They do
over
a
there.
lot of stuff in Panama. They actually
A
also...
lot of the base jumping off the buildings done there, stuff like that. Yeah, that dude's a fucking animal. You talk about
Pastrana.
Travis Pastrana. Yeah,
That's what I said. Huh?
I don't know. What'd you say?
It's Pastrana.
Well,
Pastrami?
Oh, I said Pastrana.
they also allow stem cell treatment way before they were allowing it here. So
Yeah.
you wouldn't believe the amount of UFC guys that would come out there to hear.
Yeah, that was the other.
Have you done that? Have you got good results? Because I hear like a lot of people that have done it kind of get. I did it.
I broke my leg in half, and
it helped you.
I fought 13 months later.
Yeah.
So if that ain't proof,
Yeah.
I don't know what is. Well,
Heard mixed reviews. Some people it seems to have helped greatly, and other people have. What's the name of the big one?
Well, there's one. BioAccelerator is the one in
Colombia.
Then there's another one in Tijuana, and then there's the one in Panama. Those are the most popular, like overseas ones that I know of at least.
A lot of fighters go there. I know. So I mean, it has to have. But why isn't it big in the U.S.? Because
it is now. It's just because it's ruled, but it's starting now. It's starting to.
They haven't. They
you can do all the stuff that
wasn't
you could do
legalized
there
back
now.
then.
You can do.
Yeah.
And now probably I bet it's still a lot cheaper to do there.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything seems to be.
For sure.
Yeah.
Probably more fun too.
Yep. So
Panama's got a good nightlife and all that, right?
They do. They have a great nightlife. Women everywhere, and it's like the Manhattan of Central America. So like you got like people from not just all over Central America, all over the world. Funniest thing I've ever seen like that. I'm not mean this as a racist statement at all, but seeing Asian people speak Spanish is so funny because it's hard for them to pronounce the L's and the R's, and they're very prominent in the Spanish language. And my whole 14 years, every time I would go to like a convenience store and they talk, I would laugh every time. It's just so funny. But,
And you obviously still speak Spanish.
yeah. Nope. I came back to America. My friends that like grew up speaking Spanish with their families and shit, I'm correcting them.
Yeah.
But they're like, what's going on?
So
Like,
when did you come back and what brought you back?
my daughter was born in 2014. And,
So you had a girlfriend that was visiting you in Panama? No.
she was from Dominican Republic.
Okay.
But she lived in Panama.
Oh.
She was a Panamanian resident, and we got pregnant. So I decided to ask her to marry me and come back here. It took me 2 years to get the fiance visa paperwork done. So that's why I fought up until then, you know. Once I left Panama, there was no reason for me to fight. You know, I'm in my late 30s at that point, no kind of following here. I'm not fighting for a couple $1,000s, you know. I got myself really popular in Panama. I was the only gringo with tattoos knocking motherfuckers out. So it was easy for me to get 10 grand to sponsor and get 5 or 6 sponsors to fight. And it was worth fighting. So
Now, could you support yourself just on that, or did you have to do like
in Panama? I could have and still live very comfortably, but me and 6 of my friends bought a sports book. So I had a sports book as a business. I had a piece of the league, plus my fight purse, plus my sponsorship money. So
Gotcha.
I did pretty well out there. Pretty well. We were able to bring out, like, once we got a name for ourselves, I was able to start bringing better fighters and people for like guest appearances and stuff. Dan Mergliato used to come and ref all the fights for me. I brought him out there a bunch of times.
He's one of my favorite refs. I like
awesome.
Dan a lot.
He's a giant. That dude was awesome.
Met him a couple times.
Dean Thomas. Remember Dean Thomas?
Oh, yeah.
He's come out there a lot. Cowboy Cerrone came out there. TJ Dillashaw.
Speaking of crazy motherfuckers, since we were talking about Travis Pastrana, who just pushes the extreme, Cowboy's pretty crazy motherfucker too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got that huge scar down his chest. That's from a dirt bike. That's from the handlebars of a dirt
That's
bike.
what it is?
Actually, yeah, handlebars
Really?
of a dirt bike.
I thought it was like
that dude,
something he was born with.
He literally folds.
Look that up, Andrew.
I believe you. I believe you.
Sternum injury. I'm pretty sure Cowboy Cerrone's.
I heard that has a heart. That is hard.
I'm pretty sure he had emergency. Yeah, they said after that surgery he doesn't do well with body kicks. After that, I heard, but pretty sure it's from a dirt bike injury. But he's also a cave diver, which is insane.
Spelunking, right?
Yeah.
Spelunking, I think, is above.
Oh, you mean an underwater?
He does it underwater,
He
which
almost died.
Which is 1,000 times
He
more
almost died.
dangerous.
He lost the line.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, once the silt it gets silted up, that's when it's super dangerous. You know what I mean? So because you can't see, you don't know which way's up, down, left, right, in, out. You can't tell. That's why they usually run lines, and if you lose that line, you're fucked. You know, so.
Yeah, not for me.
I'll tell you what, his kicks when he was hitting the Muay Thai bag,
bro,
he literally fold the Muay Thai bag in half.
He has no tell to his kicks. That's the crazy thing about him.
Vicious.
Yeah.
Vicious.
I'm pretty sure it was a handlebars of a dirt bike that caught him in the sternum, and he had to have like emergency surgery. But anyway, bad dude. Yeah. So,
Okay, Roger. Look at that.
say I got one right, pal.
I didn't say you were wrong.
You would only rub that in for 10 minutes.
I didn't say you were wrong.
You
I didn't say you
thought
were
he was
wrong.
born with it.
I said I didn't know. I thought he was born with it. I was saying like, wow, I didn't know. I thought he was born. I wasn't denying it.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe she was born with it.
Or maybe it was handlebars.
Yeah, but he's a badass. Is he still actively fighting, or he retired?
No, he retired.
He retired. Yeah. Yep.
He just went to Turkey.
No, yeah, did he get the hair transplant, right? Yeah. How's it look?
I don't know.
I think he had bad hair. Remember a couple? I mean, he always changes up. Remember he had the mullet in a couple fights. I guess
because he was trying to hold on.
Yeah, he's trying to hold on. And then he's usually got it really short, but
yeah. When you going?
I don't think I am, man. I think I'm just gonna embrace it and then
shave it.
Not shave it. I'll
I
just
think you
go.
look good with a bald.
I'll go low cut like that.
I think you
Is
look
that?
good.
Do you keep it low? Because you're. Yeah, I'll go low like that.
I keep it low because of the grays.
Yeah. I don't think I have to yet, but it's gonna happen eventually. My dad's 75. He still has his hair. He just doesn't have good hair. You know what I mean? So
I'm getting that like Paulie walnuts around the ears, grays over here.
Yeah,
So if I just keep it real short, you don't see.
you getting fucking? Are you finding hair in your ear and shit now? I'm like, what the fuck?
Not yet.
I'm like,
yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, you got no canal there, bro. You got no ear. Your ear is.
He's got enough room for like one strand to grow.
How are you getting anything out of there? There's no hole. You got no ear. You get mad?
You
get mad?
You need a hole.
mad.
You need a hole this size.
mad.
That's what Roger needs. He needs a hole this size. Roger's fucking eyeing my ears up. I see you.
I'll take care of that thing. I'll treat you right. I'll tell you I love you. Oh shit. So yeah, man. I mean, I don't know if you're spiritual though, but thank the good man above. You're still here, brother, and somebody divine intervention. Probably your girlfriend really saved you, but
no problems about it.
Yeah.
If she wasn't there, I wouldn't be here talking.
That's
to her.
crazy, man. How crazy is that? Does that affect you? Does that have an emotional effect on you? Like, do you? I mean, you're a dad. Everything hits me a little harder now as a dad. You know what I mean? Like everything. So listen. This is an honest to God truth. I'm driving to work this morning. It's like 6:40, and I saw Nick Catone's post about his son, and I start fucking crying. I'm driving to work. Tears rolling down and I got to go in, talk to the dispatcher. I pull in. I'm still crying. Right. I got to go in. This morning. I'm just emotional now because I'm a dad. I was never like a pussy like that. But that story touches everybody. Everybody that's a father, that story touches. And I was even trying to write something. I erased it. I'm like, what can you say? You know what I mean? What can you say? You know, I erased it like 3 times. I'm like, but anyway, I get to work and I'm like, I can't walk in here and have my dispatcher look at me and say you're crying. So I'm fucking wiping my eyes and shit. I'm just saying, I'm more emotional now that I'm a dad. I know that shit wouldn't bother me back in the day, you know what I mean? But yeah,
becoming a parent changes your perspective.
Changes you. So I guess my point was, I didn't mean to make it about me. After you go through something like that, you're a dad. How old's your daughter?
She's 8.
Yeah. I mean, do you talk to her about this and say,
it was tough to handle the situation. Thank God I had my girlfriend and my mother that were able to be with her, and I just had them tell her. I was in the hospital for 2 days, and I knew I was only going to be in there for 2 days. So I said, "Listen, tell her that I'm working overtime, that I'm doing stuff for work, because I don't want her to hear that I had a heart attack and me not be there." And the day I got out of the hospital, I waited for her at her bus stop. gave her a big hug,
Yeah.
and I was like, look, Daddy wasn't working.
Yep.
I had a heart attack 2 days ago, but I wanted to make sure you saw that I was fine first. Doctors did everything they had to do. Daddy's fine. She still lost her shit, but something like that, you try to handle it the best way you can.
That's all you can do. Yeah.
But I definitely, I feel a bigger sense of gratefulness, because
Borrowed time, sort of.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
like that could have easily been the last time I spent on this earth. So it makes you value things a little bit
Sure,
more.
of course.
Sure.
Of course.
I'm not a pussy like Roger and cry and stuff.
This dude has no emotion. He has no empathy at all.
No, but when I think about dying, I'm not scared to die, but I think about my kids. That's what I think about. Like, damn, like what am I? Like, it's more of a selfish thing. 'Cause, like I'm missing out on their lives, and I guess they're missing out a little bit on having. Well, if I was to leave, they would miss out on some of those things too,
Yeah.
So I'd always think about.
That's why I try to make the most memories I can with my kids.
Yeah,
Fucking love hanging out. And I know all parents do, but I mean, I fucking love hanging out with my kids, man. I really do.
Yeah.
Especially my daughter's like literally the little female version of me. She has my personality to a T, bro. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
Like I see so much of myself in her, which scares me too.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy how age like humbles you. I mean, you're a bad motherfucker. Dante Rivera, bad motherfucker. Frankie Edgar, bad motherfucker. Tom DeBlas, bad motherfucker. You see Tom DeBlas's post? I mean, he's like he's got a
Which one?
He started this like anti-bullying campaign. So he's fucking idiot.
What?
So he's obviously has a lot of empathy towards kids and stuff going on in the world. So what I guess my point is that when you're younger, you're this kind of invincible badass, and as we get older, we all soften a little bit, and it becomes about kids, right?
Yeah. Especially
Some
once you have
get
one
softer
of your
than
own.
others.
That's me. Is that a joke about my penis?
No. What?
Oh, the
This
crime.
guy's got dick on the brain all the time.
No, that's you, pal. That's
got
you,
dick
pal.
on the brain.
That's you. That's you. All right, man. If people want to follow you, people want to watch, your stuff, your fights.
Kimura is, you got to go on to Amazon Prime, search Kimura, Kimura, and I think you have to download another app to watch it. But yeah, it's worth to
Instagram.
watch if you speak Spanish.
Are you only on Instagram? You on other social media platforms?
I'm on Instagram and Facebook, Frankie Bam Bam Bloise.
Okay.
Bloise.
Bloise for my French folks.
You said you wanted to shout out your grinder. You're on Grinder now. What's your handle?
I don't know what that grinder is that you're talking about.
Well, I definitely have to shout out my girl for saving my life. I love you, baby.
Yeah, hey.
Frankie said she was coming in with you. I was looking forward to meeting her.
Yeah, she wound up having to watch my daughter.
Okay.
And I want to give a shout out to you too, Taylor. Best daughter ever. Love you, baby.
That's awesome.
There you go.
That's awesome.
All right, everybody. Until next time.
Yes.
Rogers.
You said last time you want to do a call to action at the beginning. Can we still get that in at the end, or do you want to do it
Just
now?
don't cry during it, okay, Roger?
You have no empathy at all. None.
Do it now. I'll just put it at the beginning.
Okay. Just
Make sure you follow us everywhere podcasts are available. Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere else.
especially Rumble. We're trying to build our Rumble account. Kind of new to Rumble, so if you can check us out, find us on Rumble, much appreciate that.
We should put a video of you crying on Rumble.
I'll post it.
I'll
post it. I'm not scared.
People will search it.
I embrace my emotions. I do. I embrace them, pal. I'm okay with it. I'm not afraid to admit that I'm.
Hey, there's criers. Some people are criers.
Yeah. Hey, listen, don't get it twisted. I still get down in the street, though,
Okay.
Yeah.
You cry about it?
No. Not if I win. If I lose, maybe.
Okay, then I'll cry. That's when I cry.
You telling me that story doesn't fucking impact you,
No,
bro?
of
What do you got?
course,
No
dude.
heart? What are you, fucking
No, I'm not saying
Hitler?
that story. You just cry, period. You cry a lot. You talk about crying quite a bit.
No,
that's
he
all.
don't.
Okay, that's all I'm
I
saying.
don't at all.
You talk about
Touch
crying
with
a
his
lot.
emotions.
When the fuck do I talk about crying?
I hear you say you cried quite like
Never.
in several
When?
stories.
When?
In several stories you've told on this podcast.
That's a lie. That's
He's
a lie.
talking
Okay,
about-
give me an example.
Talking about crying.
That's a fucking lie.
Talk about crying.
That's a fucking lie. That's a lie.
This time, the time you bent over and sat on that thing.
You're a fucking idiot. All right. Check us out, people. Frankie, you got to sign the board. This Frankie, not you. We don't want your signature.
It's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you.
Yes, let's do it.